Pi Network, right? I'm sure you watching us here, you may have heard about it because you're a subscriber already to the channel. And if you are, thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, I think we have echoes. Okay, good. Thank you. So if you are, again, thank you for being on the channel. Thank you, for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the message, because the content, actually, by you sharing the content, it goes a long way and helping other people who don't just know. So Pi Network started with a big vision, okay, to make the most used, okay, currency for mainstream. So our target market is clear, is the mainstream, is everyday people. That's why I always mention that Pi Network is a currency for the people, by the people, because we have to build it up together. So, but if this is your first time you're getting on the channel and on this live, I will invite you not to wait, just subscribe, put your comment, because your question may be a question that somebody else somewhere is asking. And by answering the question, it will help also the message and the content to go further. But don't forget, make sure that you actually activate the notification bell so that every time we put new notification, even this live happening now, we took on ourselves to be able to do at least 2 every month for now. So when those lives and videos and content is posted, you're not going to be missing any, because you will be getting the notification. So today I have on the panel, okay, some members who have been on this journey as well. Is no more just me sharing the message, but is people, these are people who have been, okay, echo again. Can somebody mute? Thierry, I think you have to mute yourself. Thierry, are you there? Thank you. Okay. So these are people who have been on the journey as well. They will share today with us how even they got onto Pi Network, what made them actually choose to do everything they've been doing to be here today. And most of them actually passed the KYC. And my goal initially was to wait for that, because not everybody will see the vision. But the KYC milestone is a big one, which actually now is telling most skeptical people that this is not just a game. This is not just another scam out there, okay? We are doing some progress. And these are just baby steps that is bringing the big vision to see someday this currency be what it was created for. So they will share also how the KYC process, they went through it, because I always tell you, even myself here, I didn't pass the KYC yet. But with their experience going through the KYC, we're going to have a very fun discussion where they will let us know how the process did actually go with them. And if we have time, we may talk about the validators. So validation is a big contribution actually to the process of getting more than 30 million people actually go through the KYC. Even if we assume that 15 or 50% of them are still not in, it's still almost more than 15 million people. And right now we have actually more than 1.5, which is amazing, because 1.5 people actually already passed the KYC. They can actually do the peer-to-peer exchange. And now with that vision, the mission that Pi Network community that we are all part of, the genesis of how this cryptocurrency is being built, that we are all part of. The goal, the mission to be able to reach that vision is to create a marketplace where we can, each one of us, exchange goods and services using Pi as the main for payment. So that's it. I'm not gonna actually be too long. I welcome anybody who join, all of you who will be joining. feel free, put your question in the chat box. One team member is actually tracking your question, and he will let us know when there's any question to see if we can actually help you answer the question. Now, I'm going to start from, always we say lady first, and I'm going to start with the ladies. So introduce yourself if you don't mind, and you can let us know how did you come across, okay, the Pi Network project, because it's still a project at this point. So whoever want to start can go ahead.
Well, I'll start. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Sierra Cromar, and I got introduced to the Pi process right in the beginning. I was told by a friend. Well, actually, she was the one that invited me to the process. I got on the link and started to mine. I uh, set up my kids and some other family members and friends to start the mining process, which basically, if you're not aware of Pi yet, is just every 24 hours you get a notification to just click a button. Really, it's not anything difficult. So you just click a button and you start to mine in the Pi. So we've been at it since in the beginning. I think a couple of months back, I went through the wallet process where I was able to set up my Pi wallet and that of my kids. Went through that process, got it. Then it was fairly an easy process as well. They give you a passphrase there where you have to remember. You do a quick exchange, a test exchange, and that was a pretty easy process too. It's not something that's very difficult. If you can use a smartphone, it's just something very easy to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks back, I got
the let me just jump in very quick before even we go further. Okay, a couple of weeks back, you mentioned two things that are very important actually to maybe talk about a little bit. Okay, so the first one you said it's just pushing a button, right? Anybody can do that. Okay, so basically, this project was able to bring this whole process of mining, which technically we're not really mining, we're contributing, right, to the construction of the blockchain, right? So basically, you telling us right now that is the whole process is like every 20 hours to just remember and then actually click just one button. Is that correct?
That is correct. And the thing is
Mhm.
that you don't even have to remember because the system
Mhm.
sends you a notification every cycle to press it. So it's not
Mhm.
anything that you have to track
Yeah.
on your own. It just sends you a
Uh-huh.
reminder and you just
Uh-huh.
click the button and you wait for
Click
another
the
24
button.
hours. It's just,
Yes.
yeah, pretty much that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And just to help you, if you're watching us right now, for you to understand actually what is that button that is actually click every 24 hours. Okay. So Pi network, learning from the other currency, try not to make the same mistake where the minority, okay, will take actually the majority of the wealth, okay, in this cryptocurrency. That's what happened right now with Bitcoin. Okay. If you look into Bitcoin, maybe 1% of the owners own actually more than 95% of the whole Bitcoin actually value. So to actually restrain that in our ecosystem, so it will be only one phone number, one account, one identity. So definitely there cannot be any duplication. One person cannot just go out there buy like a million of cell phones unless you are in charity and you want to help some people in a village. That's still fine. But you just have one identity. You're not going to be able to link yourself to a million of cell phones. So now going in every 24-hour clicking is actually helping the algorithm to actually start building. Okay, for the last 3 years that we've been on this project, right, is helping the algorithm to build the process. Because remember, in this project, everything is merit based and then is built based on trust. It's not like a proof of work that we see some other currency. This is based on trust. That's why the invitation is a key because you only invite somebody that you trust and who trusts you as well. and that will not come in and hurt the process. So now the second thing that you mentioned, which is quite interesting, I heard you saying that you even put your kid. So basically, this process, are you telling us that even our kids can just join also the process? And how did you do it?
So yes, yes, kids can join the process as well. When so like the person I invited me into the process, they sent me a link, and once I clicked the link, I was able to join that person cycle, I guess it is called. So like that person, I also had my link, and I sent that out to family and friends that I trusted to join the process. So that's how my kids got the link from my invitation, and then they loaded the system and they do what I do every 24 hours. So yes, kids can join as well.
That's wonderful, because for me, when we look to our kids, they are actually the next consumers. And today, everything about digital, kids are even more savvy than us. And if the project can already, touch, okay, those next generation of consumers, imagine how huge this will be, because it's not actually just about, uh, people who are over 18. So even if your child is, less than 18 years old, they can actually join, because many KYCs out there limit the age because you have to be 18. But right now, I know the team is working through, the development team is working through being able to actually KYC those children, but with parental control. But thank you very much for sharing that. I'll come back to you because you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure that you wanted to take us maybe through the KYC. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to give the chance now to the other participant to, introduce themselves very quick, and then maybe let us know again, same story, how their journey have been on coming across, Pi Network.
Yeah, hi. My name is Ren. I also joined at the beginning. I think we were not at 10 million yet. I got an invitation from Ashil. And
it looks like most of you here, they will be coming from Ashil, though. Go ahead.
Well, I joined because, like Ashil like to say, we learn or we win. So it wasn't, you don't have to pay anything, nothing coming out of your pockets. You just join, it's connected to your number, your cell phone, you have a cell phone. And like Siata said, you get a notification. And once you get on the Pi app, you don't even have to look where to push the button. It just flashes in front. It flash in front of you where to push, just to mine. And then you get that notification every 24 hours. And what I have to mention is that when you sign up, make sure your name on the ID match the name you have on the Pi network.
Yes, that's true.
Don't put your nickname unless that nickname is on your ID. And also, you can increase your mining rates by creating your circle.
Circle of security.
Circle of security, which include your name, probably the person that invited you, and people that you invited. You increase your mining rate, and also participating in the chats. Participating in the chat also increase your mining rate.
Yes. So I think, again, very quick, Ren is taking us again a little bit, farther. But thank you for mentioning this. But there are two things that you mentioned that we need to help maybe somebody who have just maybe joined this channel to understand, okay? I do know that many people at the beginning, maybe, I don't really know what this thing is about. Let me not put my real name because blah, 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 right? People start using Pi as if it was a Facebook or it was like another social media. Please, don't do that. And then later on, they are stuck. Because this is a real deal where after you will be verified. So you don't want to see you putting some fancy names there and then your ID is showing something else. We're talking about the most used currency in this whole world as evasion. So it's not a joke to be able to go in there and just put in some fake names. Now, Ren, you mentioned also about the security circle. Let me just help anybody who's watching us right now or who will watch us later to understand this process. I told you initially that this is based on this algorithm. Okay, this blockchain is being built based on trust. That's why we actually use the approach of inviting, because I will not start inviting people I don't know. Most likely is like people I know, which I'm glad that all of you here actually heard that, from me. And some people may mention, feel free, you being here, if you have even people in your circle of trust who would like to come on this live and share their experience, we are open to receive, because more people actually start talking about this, the more people can we can raise more awareness around this. So it's based on trust in your circle of trust. And here's where actually the Pi Network project come in synergy with what we do as a professionally, okay, with business owners. We are always been about educating business owners understand how principles will always allow them to build sustainable businesses. And we choose in our organization, you will see already the name, wEquipu, right? We choose to be able to contribute to this awareness and engagement for human and economic development based on principles. So what I noticed with this project, when it took me a couple of months, when I heard it from a close friend who actually called my attention that our vision and the way we talk about principle, it fit very well with a project he came across. And because of the fact that when I studied Bitcoin, I saw all the challenges and all the difficulties. When this project was being developed, I very quick connected with the project personally. So now moving a little bit forward to the security circle. Once you have your circle of trust, because the algorithm and the blockchain is being built based on trust, a life principle is teaching us and telling us every time, whoever you are, there are minimum 3 people, maximum 5 people around you that you are ready to put or to bet your life on. There are always 3, minimum 5 people that you don't just trust, right? You can share things that are the most confidential with them. And the principle of 3 and 5 is something that we use even in business development. Because when you check, as human beings, there are 3 entities making each one of us actually on this live here. You have the physical body, you have the mental part of who we are, you have the spiritual part. And our physical body that we are individually responsible for has like 5 key structures. So based on this principle, the Pi Network project is actually, if the more we're going to be talking about this project, you will see some similarities with principles. So when you have your circle of trust, you need to build what we call your circle of security based on the approach or the principle of number 3 and 5. So basically, you need to build the 5 key people that are beyond just your circle of trust. That's what your circle of security is. Now, down the road, the circle of security will help, because we saw so many people actually lose their Bitcoin, right? Because, oh, I forgot my passphrase. Oh, I don't know anymore if this is this, or where is my passphrase, right? So the interesting thing in the long term, not now, the interesting thing that the circle of security will allow us to do is to validate in case of a scam or in case of somebody trying to even get to, our wallet or something, this can actually be used to verify with the 5 people if they know Achille, for example, or to verify with the 5 people, the 5 other people, sorry, if they know Benedict, for example, because there is a lot of chances that if all of them validate that they do know Benedict, right? Benedict is real. And you will see this same principle come in when Siata was trying to share the validation process. Maybe if we have time, you will see the principle of 5 play in again after. So, Ren, thank you very much. I think those 2 key elements are a takeaway from your experience joining this. So let's go to the next person who would like to also pitch in and tell us how the experience have been. Again, introduce yourself if you have just joined us. I think Chris McMullen on the other side over there just also joined us. So Chris, right now what we're doing is that we're just introducing, the panelists and or the guests, and then you share your experience on how did you come across the Empire Network and what are your takeaway before even we speak about the KYC, and if we have time, we'll talk about the validation. Okay, so we say ladies first, and I think Benedict is maybe the next person before the yeah.
I'll go next. I'm Benedict, and like everyone else, I got invited by Achille, and basically just mining every day. Of course, when you forget, then you will definitely hear from Achille with a reminder as well. But the system itself is already set up in a way where it sends you reminders, and like everyone else, ditto. Everyone else said it's pretty. It's a simple process. The highlights comes on and it shows you where to mine with a click. Very simple. And so I did. I'm not as advanced as some of you on this panel, but still just learning. And I only did the wallet process, and that's why. So, and I do have a circle of and people in my circle as well. Yeah, I did include my kids, but they weren't too eager to continue.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still do it with my husband consistently, and I included other people too that are also my. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very quick, Benedict. And I think this is something that, you guys on the panel or you watching us can also use, okay? Both Benedict and Ren mentioned how you can get notifications. And I think Siata mentioned that too. So what I took on myself personally to do, knowing how busy we can get, is to help my circle. So when I see that somebody is not active, I just send a quick message. That's why I'm insisting to know anybody that actually choose to join my circle, because it helped me be able to be accountable also for people that I trust. And I think, for those on who put their children and they're not doing anything, that's still fine, because they will discover maybe later. But try your best, even if they can reach later on the KYC process. At least they are in the game. It's not like them being outside and now they're trying to catch up. So thank you very much. So I don't know if Charles, Chris, or Thierry, do you want to, come in next?
Yeah, I can go ahead if it's okay with you, Achille.
Yes.
Please,
yes, Charles. No, you're good. You're good, Charles.
So yeah, I'm excited. Carolyn's excited. We both got mining through Mr. Achille as a business associate, and it's been a unique experience. And like Sieta said at the beginning, the mine, mining each day, you get a notification, and Achille will remind us. But it gets us in the mindset to understand it, and that's what happened with me. I had to get in the mindset to understand it first. But what really got me excited is once I made that transition to do the KYC and then being a validator. That's what really spurred things on. So we're just excited about moving forward. And Carolyn my lovely wife, she's also the same way. She's each day doing that same process. And I know she's in the validation too. I know she passed. And I think she's just, retweaking to make sure her stuff was right as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the process went good so far.
Yeah. And thank you for mentioning one thing you will notice, and I say this every time. I think business owners out there, if you watching us, you are in the business arena or you own a business, right? The digital currency is not something about the future; it's here right now. So we're trying our best with business owners who actually get the understanding of what we do. We try our best to start educating and raise the awareness for business owners to start looking into digital currency, not as a speculative tool, but as a tool for transaction. And that's how why you will see in these lives, we'll be inviting many business owners to actually come share their experience, because you know what? Now that we're going through the KYC, the first transaction will be among ourselves. And we actually started creating a group where we're gonna come as local users of Pi. I will invite you watching, to do that also in your local area, where when you have supply and demand of goods or services, you can start having those transactions done among yourself, because this is a peer-to-peer project. It's not a speculative one. So thank you very much, Charles. And let's hear from Thierry or Chris.
This is Chris McMullen. How's it going, everyone? And I'm glad to see all these smiley faces on here, learning about if you're new to Pi, hopefully you'll get a better understanding.
Do you want to, Chris? Do you want to maybe put your camera on so that the audience will put a face to your name? Thank you. Yep.
I was actually. Okay, there we go.
You're good.
So I've been at a swim meet all weekend. So, but the great part about, being able to realize the whole digital currency thing, like a Shield, and I'm in his inner circle. We kind of started a while ago, and we've been diligent enough to kind of keep going. I just got my approval for my KYC, so I feel validated in the process. And
that's good.
Once you get going, I actually, during that process, you actually spend some of your currency that you have built up. So you already are getting into the habit of now you got a wallet. Now you're going through the validation of it. Now I'm like a registered person here with with the credentials that are now validated. So don't sleep on the opportunity to kind of get in on some ground level things, and that's really what's important. We already know that digital currency is here to stay. It's a matter of where you want to kind of get started. Sometimes, you may not totally, understand the whole idea of mining, but as a prospector myself, you learn how currency is created. One activation at a time. And that allows that currency to grow. So long as we are being active and really serious about what's going on. So now that I'm validated, I'm pretty excited that because we started hearing these things, and they were kind of in the future, and then we got a wallet, and then all of a sudden I saw in my app, and I was like, oh, it's time to do the KYC now. And so they've already told us that these things are coming. And now they're really here. And I don't know if everybody is validated on this call, but, it's real now.
you guys are three lucky ones, and I'm still here. Everybody's hearing the panelists saying that they came across this, through me, but I'm not validated or I'm not KYC. But there's no rush because all of us, the 30 million, okay, the 20 million, okay, will go through the KYC. That's where, if you notice, and we'll talk about this next, but let me pinpoint one thing that Chris said that is very important, okay? And that's why everybody is called pioneers, okay? This is an opportunity for you being in the dark, you doubting, to understand actually how this whole thing about cryptocurrency is a digital currency, okay? How is it built up? Because everybody who started the journey will see that everything was sequential. Now, in 5 years, I will not promise to you that you will go through this experience because everything will be already set up. You will go through it mechanically. But all those people who are joining now, it is not even late. So who are joining now, they do understand the genesis of actually how things are being built. And you heard the panelists, you heard our guests talking about the wallet here, because yes, the money, digital, you need to put it in a wallet, just like you put your fiat money in a wallet as well. So thank you very much, Chris, for really bringing that out, because many people don't realize the chance to learn something. And I think Reno was mentioning that, I usually indeed mentioning that, you know what, you have nothing to lose. Either you win or you learn something. And going through this process, I did learn myself a lot because there was always a big question mark. How do they come up with these currencies? So thank you guys for your introduction, sharing your journey. Now let's talk about the KYC. Thierry, how are we doing on time though? So that we know if we have to do, the third point on the agenda, maybe, on our next slide. But how are we doing on time? Okay, until he come on. So let's talk about the KYC, because this is truly a very big milestone. This is telling people, like I heard from each one of you, whoa, by the time now I'm validated, I'm KYC, because it's the step that will actually allow us to start doing the exchange peer to peer. So I'm going to start then with you, Chris. So how was your experience going through this in-house KYC? It's very important to mention that because it's in-house. It's not the traditional KYC that we have out there. We, with the developers that we have on the team, build the KYC process. The core team, right? The core, the central development team have been able to challenge themselves and come up with a customized KYC process. So, Chris, do you want to start and share with us, how is the process? How did you go through it and get validated?
Yeah. So once you get selected to go ahead and go through the process, they made it so seamless. I had my driver's license, whatever, you have whether you're using your passport or you're using your driver's license, but it has to be a official document that you're going to use to get validated. And then it goes through the process of, capturing your image, and then it validates your image. And see, there's technology that's behind that's doing all the facial recognition and comparing your ID with the photo that the camera takes. And so there's some other bits of data that once you start entering it goes out and also gets that information about you. Because, we all know we have a digital footprint, right? I don't care if you've been on Facebook or not been on Facebook. Everybody has a digital footprint. And so it goes out. I don't care if you went out and got a loan for a house, you created a digital footprint. I don't care.
That's right.
But it's out there. You already know it's out there, and they can go and compare that data that's in the public domain. So, if you want to know how data works, if you own a house, then the planet knows who you are. Because mortgages are in the public domain, and they can dig up the last 5 addresses you had. That's all in the public domain. Mm-hmm. And so the verification that happens it happens in the background, and you may think it's really, really simple, but it's actually a very complex process that scrapes a lot of data from everywhere to let them know that you're the person who's being validated at that time. Mm-hmm. So, but they made it so seamless. It took a couple of pictures of yourself. It took a picture of your ID. It compared the data that's part of your digital footprint. And then after all that data was then assessed, then your validation was approved. It took not even a whole day for mine to come back.
Okay. No, thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much, Chris. I think just for the audience, information. Okay, we have a very a global audience. Okay, and most of the stuff that Chris McMullen is sharing with you right now is based on US system, right? So maybe people from India or people from Nigeria may think that, oh, okay, or Liberia here may think that, okay, how is this whole thing of mortgage and all that? So this is his experience being actually on the American soil. So one thing Chris mentioned about the KYC, basically, if you follow, he's talking about identification and KYC. Again, we're dealing with everyday people, right? People who don't have the information, and we'll take this opportunity to explain things so that I always say, if I cannot break things down so that my grandpa or my grandma can actually understand, then we're not doing our job on contributing to the awareness and to the engagement for this human and economic development. So KYC stands for what? Know your customer. Basically, the process is identifying everybody to make sure that if Chris McMullen is saying that he's giving the information, he say this is Chris McMullen, it's truly him. So how do you do that? Is going through then the steps that he already mentioned. Why do we do that? Okay, the KYC have been put in place. Okay, today that's not even just in America or North America, even in so-called third countries, right? All banks use KYC because it's something that was put in place to avoid money laundering and to avoid also the sources that can finance illegal activities. Okay, things that are not legitimate. Okay, that can happen based on fraudulent financing. So KYC basically is a process. It doesn't change the nature of the blockchain being decentralized. It doesn't change the democratization of money, right? But it's something that is even important for our ecosystem. Because how will you know that somebody actually with bad intention is joining then the ecosystem? Is through the KYC. So thank you, Chris, very much. I don't know if the other guests would like to add something from their experience going through the KYC, because me and Benedicta, we're still waiting. So you guys can go ahead and maybe share your experience. And who knows, Benedict, maybe while we're speaking here, your KYC may come even through.
You never know. Never know.
Yes. Okay, go ahead, Ren.
Well, my KYC experience, like Chris said, it's not complicated. Probably takes you less than 5 minutes to go through the process. It tells you what to do next, and you approve it, or tells you take the picture again if the picture is not taken right. I'm still waiting. My application is still in review, and I think the reason is, like I was saying, make sure you put the name you have on your ID.
Yes.
in your application. My problem is just a hyphen. My last name is a hyphen, but I have 2 last names. That is hyphen on my ID. But when I opened my Pi network, I did not hyphen my my two last name. So that's where the problem is, and my KYC application is still in review. Hopefully it'll go through. I did request a change on my Pi network to hyphen my two last name, but I haven't got a response back yet. So I probably will have a longer wait period because of that. Just that little hyphen.
That's right. So basically, yes, Chris.
Hey, Sheila, let me just say this too, and really, the process that I went through for KYC was the same process that I went through to validate my driver's license into my Apple Wallet. Exactly the same. Right now, when I go through customs or when I go through the airport in Arizona, I do not even have to pull out my license anymore. I went through. It's all digital now. And what happened because of that validation process, it did the same thing. My face, my ID, and now when I go to the airport, I don't even have to pull out an ID. I just put my phone up on it and tap it on the thing there. That's digital now. You just tap it there. All my information comes up on their screen.
Okay.
And so I'm validated in that kind of way. So it takes me 2 seconds to go through what we call our TSA process in the airport because of that validation that happened, with my license, which is the same process that the KYC is based off of. So, if the U.S. government is using it, that the algorithm that they use to validate things is heavy duty. It's heavy duty. But I did want to.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that addition. And I just learned something from you. I do have a TSA, card or membership, but I didn't know that you can actually digitally do that. So I just picked that from you. So Thierry is telling us you have been. Oh, okay. Thank you, Thierry. Siata, do you want to jump in? Because I know you also passed the KYC. Thierry, feel free anytime. I know you also passed the KYC, okay? I just love the diversity of the members here. I know most of them are based in North America, but don't worry, okay? Even if you, again, from, knowing that our audience, okay, is global, even if you are in a different area than North America, feel free. You can ask your question. We'll try our best to guide you through this process. So Thierry, feel free to jump in if you have any point that you want to add. So Tieta, do you want to add anything about this KYC process?
Just to kind of pat on what Rain and Chris said. It was pretty much less than 5 minutes, like Rain said. If you got the wrong ID, if it ain't scanned properly, the system doesn't accept. The live part of the KYC process is almost like you're doing face ID for your cell phone. So that part was pretty easy as well. You just kind of turn your face around and it captures your facial profile. So nothing more like doing a facial ID for your cell phone. It was easy.
Okay, but thank you very much. I think Thierry is letting us know time goes so fast, right? So we already actually spent 50 minutes together, and I know how everybody is busy. I'll try not to, to take too much of your time. I would love us to maybe make a decision here, right? We do have the validation process, and it's only maybe 3 of you guys or 2 who are going through this, right? So maybe we can leave maybe the validation so that we take the next 10 minutes to maybe start like wrapping up, right? So maybe we take the next 10 minutes to do that, and then let maybe plan on doing the validation, coming back again, talking about the validation, this time with the only ones who are going through the validation, talking about the validation maybe on our next live. What do you guys think? Yes.
That's good to me. Yeah.
Good. Okay. I see some thumbs up over there. Okay. So yes. So do it with the next 10 minutes. Here's what I would like to do. Thierry, do we have any question in the comment or anything just before I start maybe this last piece? No question? Okay. So if you heard me, let us know in the chat or let us, yes.
No question.
No question. Okay. And Thierry, you don't have anything to add to the KYC and your experience going through Pi or how you came across Pi? I know you're here to support us technically, but I do know you have some story also to share. Or you good?
Like you said, I passed my KYC. It was like at the meaning section. So I got a notification to go mining, and when I enter in the system said I should have passed. I have to pass the KYC. I was like, what is that? I was not expected that to be now. I was expected it in like 1 year or something like that.
Future, right? Like this was, yes.
You know, so I was like, what is that? And I remember I sent a text message to Ashil to ask him if
this is serious,
a scam or something like that.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
So I think, Thierry, that's why I was asking, even if because now you bring in something that is important to mention to our audience, right? So how does the notification come, right? So for all of you on this call, and again, if this is your first time you have been staying on this live all the way here, remember, don't forget to just subscribe and then activate the notification bell one more time, okay? Because that will help you, first of all, be informed when information or content is posted. Now, why are we asking people to subscribe? It's because this will bring the channel a long way. This will help actually the information to get to more people and help us. Who knows if the channel is able to get into YouTube algorithm of good content, right? We can actually be able to execute more of our project locally to help actually more people in this process of bringing the awareness and the engagement to the economic and human development, sustainable human and economic development that we all need in this whole world. So how does the notification come? The KYC, don't just expect that within the 24-hour of you mining. You get your notification only during your session of mining. So every time your 24 cycle is finished, and then you have to actually activate, or you have to mention that you're still a human, you're still present, then the notification will pop up asking you to go through the KYC. So I see people wondering every time, how will I know that I'm selected? How do I know that, the KYC time came for me to do, right? You only know when it's time for you to actually mine. Your mining session time actually comes, right? That's the time you will know the notification is there. And if you're still actually going around it, that's fine. That's the beauty thing with algorithm, right? They have no emotion. There's no logic. They just follow a mathematical formula, right? So the notification will stay there and keep coming every time that you actually going through your mining session. And this is what happened actually to Thierry. It was coming to him. He didn't even know. And then I think one day he was just like, so actually, what is this thing? And I'm like, oh man, this is something everybody, most people are being frustrated, like they're waiting for. Just go ahead and do that. So thank you very much, Thierry. So now that we're getting to the end, okay, and I'm not going to stop thanking all of you, offering us this hour of your time to be able to allocate that to our audience. So just a general quick question, right? And we can start again. I think Siata opened the floor. We can start back from her all the way to Chris. So for you, after going through this experience, however you came through it, okay? After you going through this and whatever you have learned, okay? What will be a key message, a wisdom message that you will have for people out there who still doubting, who still wondering, is this actually something I need to get into? And unfortunately, so many people are making this look like a Ponzi scheme because, many have been hurt with this direct marketing stuff. But the tool itself is not a bad thing. But yes, as we know, the good and the bad is the duality of life. But what will you tell somebody in some key, word, somebody who's still out there, don't just know or still just doubting? What will be your message?
Well, the fact that this is by invitation first, so more than likely you would be getting this from someone you know and have some kind of relationship with. So that first to tell you that
That's
maybe, but secondly to do your research. It's something that you have to look up. Just do your own research, verify it, learn about what is it that you're getting into, and just be committed to the process. So that's what I would say if someone invites you, just kind of look into it.
I love it. Okay, two key things she mentioned, right? Trust and do your research. Because I always say in our YouTube videos, don't trust even me, Achille, talking to you here. You can listen, go do your own research. Trust, do your research. Thank you very much. I love that because that's what many people are missing. So, Benedict, so what will be your wisdom word? What will be keyword that you will actually share with somebody before we leave here?
Well, aside from trust and of course doing your own research, I'm gonna add you have nothing to lose. Really,
that's true.
Yeah. Again, we have nothing to lose, and we are now with the like we said, with the digital currency is taking over the world, and so it's better to join than to wait and play the music and say, had I known. So just jump.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Right. We are all familiar. No risk, no reward. Right. There's really no risk here. And Chris was mentioning, whoever you are in this world, you have your information already out there. I heard so many people saying that, no, this is just collecting people information. Until now, all what is asked, even in the KYC process, from what I'm learning from you, is the name, the birthday, the place where you born. On our ID, there's no confidential information there. So thank you very much for mentioning that. Ask yourself, please, what do you have to lose? So, Red, do you want to also add something? I heard trust here. I heard do your homework. I heard here you have nothing to lose, right? So,
yeah, to just add to that, we exactly have nothing to lose because the information you put on a Pi network is already out there on the public. Go on Google, type your name, and you will see all kind of information about yourself. So the information you put on the Pi network is still that information anybody can get access to. They're not asking you for your credit card. They're not asking you for your credit card number. They're not asking you for anything confidential or your bank account. They're not asking for that. Just the information that is already public. So, like Achille said, you win or you learn something. So
thank you.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah, you win or you learn. So that will be really the three words that we'll pick from you and add it to this because, again, that's how life is, right? There's no failure. You win or you learn. And before Chris will start, right? Chris mentioned about the genesis of Chris. You have the chance at least to understand how the process is. All of our guests right now, they went through a process where now they actually get a better understanding on how things work. And believe me, I always tell people, if you're not into this for the next 20 years, then you are at the wrong place. This is not something where we're going to wake up, oh, today, how much is the pie? Let me sell. Oh, let me buy. No, it will be the tool for exchanges. And that's the vision. Because many cryptocurrency actually miss on that. And that's why right now we're building the apps. That's why we're building the utilities, because those will allow us to do those exchanges. But at this level where we are in KYC, we can do the peer-to-peer exchange. So, Chris, if you're still with us, do you have a couple of words? Do you have some word of wisdom for anybody out there who's still just like taking this? This is just a game.
Well, one thing. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can do this here.
Okay.
Let me. No, it's only going to show me that. I actually wanted to start showing my
okay.
my
screen.
So here, let me see if I can get to that. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get out of this part here and maybe show you what it actually looks like. Can you see that screen?
Yes, sir. That's nice. Mm-hmm.
So you can see KYC passed. Your application is complete and approved. Now, this is the thing that I want to look into, is becoming a validator myself. Because one of the things that you can do is get involved. And you know, I don't have as rich knowledge as a Shield about everything, but once you're able to become KYC approved, they are now starting to allow you to become a validator yourself to really help the process along. So that's what it looks like. And I wanted to share that with everyone, just so that they know that is real and is working, and it's something there that I'm going to kind of take that next step, so I can see how I can help in the whole process.
Thank you, Chris. And I think in everything that's mentioned, you also you actually add a big piece that I think people are missing. Get involved.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing about our mission: awareness and engagement. Get involved. Besides what you have to lose, besides what Ren also even mentioned, right? You win or you learn. If you don't get involved, sitting there and waiting, you'll wait your whole life. So please, whoever you are watching this live right now, whoever you are, is it this your first time hearing about this? Just get involved, learn, discover, and have fun. And Chris, thank you very much for getting involved also with the validation process, because our next live actually will be about the validation process. And I would love to have you guys who are doing the validation come share with us, because the validation is helping the whole process a big time. Because the more validators we have, the more people we can get through the KYC, because the algorithm is still a machine learning. And every time the machine is stuck, each one of you being validators will actually come in and help the algorithm and say, you know what, you have actually KYC'd me, meaning that I'm real to you, right? I'm telling you now that this person you having struggled to actually pass is a real person. And the beauty about the validation is that it's not just one person. 4 individuals are going through the same stuck application to be able to unstuck it and get it through the process. So, like we say to, our military service people, right? Thank you for your services. I think with this big vision, I will say thank you, you validators actually, or you making the choice to actually validate people. It will help get through the pipeline many more people than just 1.5 million. And who knows, by the end of this year, we may get through the process maybe a quarter of the 35 million, or maybe half of even the 30 plus million that are pioneers or are users who are still waiting in the pipeline. Get involved, get engaged in the whole process. Don't sit just on the sideline waiting. Somebody mentioned about sitting there, it just reminded me. One guest said that, I don't remember who, right? It reminded me when internet came out, right? Everybody was like, "Oh no, this is a joke," That was in the 90s, I think, right? Where we see all these digital gadget and all that in 90s. But today is a reality. And whoever was sitting there and saying that, oh, internet was just a joke and all that, we all rely, our whole life is now all around the internet. And cryptocurrency will be the same thing. Don't still stay there with doubts. Because again, this is real. Just get involved. So thank you all for accepting to actually kick off this first live based on our collective Pi project. And for you watching here, if you're interested to know more about the validation process, don't miss our next live, because I'm sure these people you see here, they will have some interesting experiences to share with you. Remember that our whole journey started with one simple proverb, reminding us, when you don't know where you're going, look back from where you came from. In our humanity, all the principles have been already put in ourselves, and all the principles are already even around us as well. And you look at them, either is building a business, either is building, your personal life, or whatever you have out there. If you start learning about those principles, it will help you go a long way. Our Kobe business model that we share even with our clients is based on what? Principles. And thank you for hanging in here with us. Thank you for subscribing if you didn't do it yet. Thank you for putting your comment, because all your question, your comment is helping us actually interact. That's another way for you to get involved. Ask all your questions that you have, because I'm comfortable knowing the target market that this project, this vision is looking for is the mainstream, is the everyday person who still struggle even buying, having maybe a computer to be able to get into the game of the cryptocurrency. The phone is something that even in the villages, in remote countries, the phone is something that people are having now. So the phone is the tool that is used and is accessible to everybody. Is accessible to your kid. Just let your kid be on their phone playing video games and all that, right? Allow them to have this experience of knowing the genesis of how cryptocurrency is made. So I'm going to just one more time say thank you. And, this is something that will stay in history, because you all made it possible for us to start actually our first live on this Pi project. I will see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good Sunday.
Take care. Take care.
Bye.